Zion Williamson has been everything expected of him in his rookie season and more. Since setting foot on an NBA court for the first time, the former Duke native has left his mark on the league, not only projecting what he can give to the future, but showing himself to be one of the most dominant interns in the competition. In less than 30 minutes per game, Zion is averaging 23.6 points and 6.8 rebounds, with 59% of the field. No other player in the league exceeds 23 points playing less than 30 minutes per night. Still, what excites the Pelicans is not only Williamson's level, but the chemistry he's already developed with some of his teammates. And within that group, he's showing no one a stronger connection than with Lonzo Ball. Zion has 130 conversions that have come from a pure assist. Of those, 57 came from Ball. That's almost 44%. That's far more than what he has generated with Jrue Holiday, 32, or Brandon Ingram, 20, for example. Taking into account that Lonzo averages 7 assists per game and Holiday 6.9, it is clear that the difference is specific to Williamson. That 44% can't be explained by the fact that Ball is a much better passer than his teammate, but it clearly marks his chemistry with the #1 pick in the last draft. The understanding between the young Pelicans reaches its peak in the alley-oop plays, already a registered trademark of Lonzo Zion. Williamson has converted 28 alley-oops in 2019 to 2020, and 15 of them came by ball pass. 9 from Holiday, and 1 between Melly, Jackson, Ingram, and Hart. A connection is as effective as it is spectacular. And pay attention, because the tandem does not only work from the aesthetic or individual point of view. On the contrary, when Ball and Williamson are on the court, the overall production of New Orleans is simply extraordinary and at the level of the best teams in the league. In total, they have already played 954 possessions together, a not inconsiderable sample. And on those stretches, the Pelicans have a net ratings of plus 15.7. That means they score 15.7 points more than their rivals for every 100 possessions. Excellent offensive rating, 115.3, and even better in defense, 99.6. Even if 2019 to 2020 had its ups and downs for New Orleans, the tree should not cover the forest. With Lonzo and Zion performing and understanding each other at this level, with less than 20 games together, the future of the franchise seems to be in very good hands. But how have both players fared in waiting for the long-awaited debut? New Orleans Pelicans player Lonzo Ball has wasted no time during the quarantine to stay in shape waiting for the NBA's return. Lonzo Ball came to the NBA as a talented, if somewhat thin, young man. Today, that's a thing of the past. As for the past couple of seasons, the older Ball has been sporting a more pronounced and tattooed physique. Now, during the quarantine, Lonzo hasn't wasted a second to keep working out and preparing himself for when the NBA season resumes, so he keeps lifting weights and listening to hip-hop to get motivated. Since his arrival in the NBA, one of Ball's main weaknesses was the issue of the outside shooting. The base was arriving with 41.2% in the NCAA with UCLA, but throwing with a shorter distance and with a very strange mechanics, taking the ball from a lower point than usual and shooting from the left side of his head, not totally in front of him, like a conventional shooter. In his first years in the Los Angeles Lakers, the critics were right. Ball was 30.5% successful in three-pointers in 2017 to 2018, and 32.9% in 2018 to 2019, throwing quite a bit, 5.7 attempts per game as a rookie, 4.9 in the second year, and scoring little. The rival defenses gave him the shot, but he couldn't make it. That changed a lot this year in New Orleans. Ball improved his percentage to 38.3%, which leaves him as the second best shooter on the team after JJ Redick and Brandon Ingram, and in the NBA's top 60. A complete turnaround. Is there any reason to believe he'll keep it up in the future? Yes, because there was a correction in the mechanics. Lonzo throws more from the center and does it faster. In his last 20 games, his numbers were up even more. The three-point shooting percentage was 43.2%, with Ball shooting more from the perimeter than ever before. He averaged 6.6 outside shoots per game, with more than 60% of his shots hitting the hoop from there. Houston, 7-12, Minnesota, 7-10, and Dallas, 7-11, were the top victims. Lonzo is on fire with the triples, making it easier to attack, and when we need a basket, he gets it. His improvement opens up the game a lot, especially when he and I are in a pick-and-roll situation. When he's shooting like that, the defenses don't go behind the curtains. It creates more room for him and more space for my fall to the hoop," said Zion Williamson about how this evolution of Ball benefits the Pelicans' game. Lonzo also improved in the free throw section. He's not a player who goes to the line much, he only averages 1.2 free throws per game, but now he makes at least 56.7% of his shots, a number far from optimal, but much more dignified than 43.7% of his 2 years with the Lakers. Also, taking only his last 20 games, that continued to rise, 66.7% success rate. There was a very evident evolution. We will see if the inactivity of these months slowed it down or enhanced it thanks to his training. And for New Orleans Pelicans rookie Zion Williamson, the quarantine presented a new set of challenges. How does a 285-pound athlete stay in shape 2 months after returning from knee surgery? Let's remember that Zion started the season late because of the injury. He's only been able to play 19 games in the NBA so far, the same number of years he's been playing. But his averages speak for themselves, 23.6 points and 6.8 rebounds, playing 29.7 minutes. He's destined to be a big star, and it's clear he wants to be prepared for when the season resumes. The NBA provided a lifeline when it authorized Williamson to continue his rehabilitation at the Pelicans facility even after the league closed the facility. The second lifeline for Williamson came from his stepfather, Lee Anderson. At first, it was very difficult to stay in shape, because even now you don't know what's going on with that situation. But my stepfather and I just found different ways to stay in shape, on the court, off the court, where we could find them, Williams said Thursday morning. Williams said he was on the court every day during the quarantine period with his stepfather because he was not allowed to work with the Pelicans' coaching staff according to NBA guidelines. When asked where he was training, Williamson laughed. "I can't tell you all my secrets. There are some things I have to keep to myself," Williamson said. While we don't know what kind of playing condition Williamson is in, he did say he feels he is in good shape before the restart of the NBA. The Pelicans will open their 8-game NBA playoff contest on July 30th when they face the Utah Jazz. The NBA has kept Zion in play, and he's ready to put on a show. Count Josh Hart as one of Williamson's teammates, who was impressed with the way he looked in the gym once the players got back together. "I think in terms of his body, he looks amazing," Hart said. "He looks good. His shot looks better than it has in a long time. He's been working, and that's great. And he's one of the most attention-getting players in the league and in the world right now, so he handled everything with great humility. I'm very surprised and proud of how he handles all that." When the Pelicans return to the court against the Jazz, they will attempt to make up a 3.5-game deficit against the Memphis Grizzlies for 8th place in the Western Conference. If New Orleans can hold on within 4 games of the Grizzlies and claim a 9th place, while holding off the momentum of Portland, Sacramento, San Antonio, and Portland, they would find themselves in a play-in tournament against Memphis, or possibly beat Memphis and be in 8th place themselves. It's a battle that was intensifying as the season came to a halt, but Hart feels that if the Pelicans had Williamson for more than just 19 games, that's not what they'd be chasing right now. "I think if we had him earlier this year, the story wouldn't be fight for the 8th place. It would be we're in 4th or 5th place in the West. Honestly, that's my opinion. Unfortunately, we couldn't have it at the beginning of this year, but it has helped change this organization and the direction of the season," Hart said. Williamson said the team's focus in Orlando is on qualifying for the playoffs, but he also agreed with Hart that the team could have been much more dangerous if everyone had been healthy all year. "I think this team can be really special when we're all healthy," he said. "It's just a matter of us coming together, fighting those mental battles of being on the bubble, and honestly coming together. I feel like if we can come together and fight the battles together, I think we can be something really special," Williamson said. By the time things get started in Orlando, it will be the end of a 12-month whirlwind for Williamson, who will turn 20 on July 6th. His first summer league game ended with an injury and an earthquake. The start of his season was delayed because of surgery. He scored 4 threes in his first game and only 2 since. Now, his unconventional year ends in another unconventional way, playing in Orlando in July and August. "I'm very lucky that the NBA was able to do this, because I trust the NBA, that in the bubble, we will be in a safe environment, protected at best, and from what is happening. And it's pretty crazy, we're actually about to leave and go. It's a lot to process, sure, but I'm excited," Williamson admitted. And we have to admit that all these data, and the predisposition of Lonzo and Williamson himself, only generate more anxiety. Will they be as unstoppable as they promise to be? I suppose their rivals will be taking note and doing the only thing they can do, trying to train harder or resigning themselves to the embarrassment. We hope you enjoyed the video. We post Monday through Friday, so make sure to hit the bell icon to be notified, and don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe down below. Check out these videos.